Hi there, my name is Alex White, and my presentation is on the history and paradigms happening within American and European hip-hop, which includes cultures, traditions, genres, and sounds which influenced modern hip-hop today. To start with the history hip-hop has within America, it first started in the Bronx in the early 1970s, which at the time was going through major economic decline, high poverty rates, and unlimited public resources. People in African American and Latino communities, in response to these living challenges, created hip-hop as a form of expression, identity, and resistance. DJ Kool Herc is an influential artist from this era, and many believe he helped shape hip-hop's musical foundation. He is known by how he used two turntables to extend the instrumental sections of the song, which is commonly known as a break in the song, becoming a key element in breakdancing and rapping, which is essential to modern-day hip-hop. These initial starts to American hip-hop, DJing, emceeing, rapping, breakdancing, and graffiti art all become foundational pieces in what we know today in hip-hop. In this slide, it focuses on how hip-hop transforms physical and cultural spaces. According to one of the sources I found called Scholarship in Wrapped Space, the architecture of hip-hop. Hip-hop does not just exist as music, but as something that reshapes environments, especially urban spaces. In this source, it brings up how in cities, hip-hop culture took over and turned parks, streets, subway stations, and abandoned buildings into creative spaces. Graffiti artists used walls as canvases, DJs created music in public gatherings, and dancers used open spaces to perform. These elements of hip-hop show that it was not just an art form, it was a way of claiming space in environments where communities may have felt excluded or overlooked. It also became a way of building identity in places where people often felt socially or politically marginalized. So hip-hop can be understood as both cultural expression and spatial transformation throughout history. Start talking about the history of hip-hop throughout Europe. The source THA Global CIPHA, The Transcultural Dynamics of a Black Aesthetics in James G. Spade's Rap of Ra, talks about how hip-hop's sound in Europe was heavily influenced from American hip-hop, although it adapted to fit European languages, histories, social issues, and cultures. It often reflects themes like immigration, racism, unemployment, and national identity, which, although seen throughout American hip-hop, was incorporated more in Europe. Many artists even use rap to talk about what it means to live in multicultural societies or post-colonial nations. Unlike American hip-hop, which originally emerged from African American and Latino communities in the Bronx, European hip-hop developed as a subculture that was reshaped to fit its local environment. For example, it became a way for marginalized youth in countries like France, Germany, and the UK to express their own struggles and identity. This slide focuses on how hip-hop connects to diaspora and global identity. A definition for diaspora is the communities that live outside of their original homeland, but still maintain cultural connections to their original homeland. These people play a major role because the culture surrounding hip-hop itself has spread across the world and has been reshaped by different communities, such as these people and communities that transfer and move. For example, artists and groups such as the Black Eyed Peas show how global influence can mix within hip-hop and create hybrid styles. The article, Lost in Translation, Filipino Diaspora's Post-Colonial Hip-Hop, talks about how diaspora communities use hip-hop to express identity, belonging, and their cultural struggles. This raises the idea of authenticity, which asks what it means to be real in hip-hop when the culture is being practiced outside of its original context. So, hip-hop becomes a global language, but one that constantly adapts depending on who is using it and where it is being performed, like how these elements of hip-hop in Europe differ from the ones in America. This slide compares American and European hip-hop paradigms, also known as dominant ways of thinking within each context, which really highlights the differences through history between the two subgenres. American hip-hop originates from the Bronx and is deeply connected to African American and Latino experiences. It often focuses on themes like systematic racism, poverty, police violence, and urban survival. Authenticity is also very important in American hip-hop, especially the idea of representing real lived experiences. European hip-hop, on the other hand, developed as an adaptation of American hip-hop, but reflects different social realities. It often focuses on immigration, national identity, cultural diversity, and post-colonial history. Instead of only focusing on authenticity in the same way, European hip-hop often emphasizes the hybridity and cultural mixing happening within its country. So, while both forms share the same roots, they react different realities and historical contexts between the two countries. Hip-hop has become one of the most influential cultural movements in the world. It has grown from local street parties in the Bronx to a global industry influencing music, fashion, language, and politics. This is especially highlighted through institutions like the Universal Hip Hop Museum, which shows how hip hop is now being preserved and studied as an important part of cultural history. The interview, I Speak Hip Hop, also shows how hip hop continues to evolve across generations and communities. It emphasizes that hip hop is not just music, but a global cultural system that connects people across borders. Even today, hip hop influences identity, activism, and artistic expression happening around the world. Hip hop started as a local cultural movement in the Bronx, which was shaped by the social and economic conditions experienced by the African American and Latino communities. Over time, it spread globally to different regions, like Europe, and evolved into different forms depending on the region, like how the topics vary between traditional American and European hip-hop art. In Europe and other parts of the world, hip-hop was adapted to reflect local issues like immigration, identity, and post-colonial history, while American hip-hop focuses more on authenticity and real-lived experience. Despite the differences, the core of hip-hop remains the same: expression, resistance, and storytelling, as seen in original American hip-hop. These are my sources in APA format.